welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy 2022. If you missed my last video, happy 2022. I'm excited because I have a great video for you guys today. This is my first story time. I've never done a story time here on my channel. So if you enjoyed this and it's something that you would like me to do more of, let me know in the comments. So I'm excited. Today I'm going to be telling you guys how I quit my job and became a full-time entrepreneur. If you're new to this channel, hi, welcome. My name is Emily Love. I am a fashion and lifestyle blogger, and on this channel I do styling videos, hauls, a whole bunch of stuff. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe. Before we get into the video, disclaimer, this video is not for me to tell anyone to quit their job and become an entrepreneur or become an influencer. Summarizing quitting your job. I know there's a bunch of videos that's out there that talk about how I quit my job and made $1 million, how I quit my job and did this. I'm not here to tell you to quit your job. We need nurses, we need teachers, we need entrepreneurs, pharmacists, we need home health aides, we need CNAs, we need everyone. So everybody can't quit their job. So that's not what this video is about. You're doing, if you enjoy doing it and you love it, keep doing it. I'm not here to tell you to quit your job. I'm just telling my story. If you're wondering about my outfit, I just put this outfit on to shoot this video. I have on a basic white t-shirt from Spanx, a white blazer. I think I bought this blazer from Just Fab like 2 years ago, and a blue pair of jeans. Leave my outfit in the description in case you're interested. But this is not a fashion video. This is just gonna be a fun story time. It's gonna be long. Disclaimer. Get yourself coffee, get tea, get popcorn, get wine, whatever you like, get it and sit down. Let's chit chat. But before I get to the part about me quitting my job, I have to tell you guys the backstory in order for it to tie to the story of me quitting my job. Because if I just tell you how I quit my job and you don't know everything that happened that led up to that event, it wouldn't make any sense. Many years ago, I was in a relationship. I was with my son's father. We was together, I want to say, for like 10 years. So I got with him when I was pretty young. Well, some people wouldn't consider that young. I got with him. We started dating when I was about, I want to say 19, 20 years old. I'm currently 33. So yeah, around that time we got together. He was a little bit older than me. He wasn't that old, but he was much older than me. He had just graduated from college. He had a good job. Well, he still has a good job. He had a good job. He worked as an engineer. So when I first met him and we started dating, he was working, he was doing well. And I'll tell you guys another story in the future if you enjoy this story time. I was living with someone. I was sleeping on someone's couch. So when we started dating, he had his own place, he had his own car, and he was and he kind of taught me how to drive, and we spent a lot of time together. And I just kind of started staying at his place, spending time there, because where I was living, I wasn't really happy in that living situation. There was a lot of people in the apartment. I was staying with a family member and I was sleeping on the couch. So when I started dating him, he was responsible. He had everything going for himself. It got serious and I moved in with him. I'm African, in case you don't know. African people, we're quick to like marry people off. So everyone in my family was like, oh, he's a great guy, he's amazing, blah, blah, blah. So that's how it started. I started living with him. He worked and paid all of the bills. That's how most African men are. I know a lot of them are changing now. They're not that way. But when we started dating, he was doing pretty well. He took care of all of the bills. He told me to go to school. I was going to school for business. I was going to CSI, College of Staten Island, for business management, business something. But I was going to school for business. And he was working, taking care of me. My life was good. I had a good life. I was chilling. I didn't have to worry about nothing. Everyone always told me, like, business is not going to make money. You won't make money from doing business. You need to go to school. You need to be a nurse. I think it's an African thing. They said, go to school, be a nurse, go to school, be a nurse. And I already have friends that were going to nursing school, but nursing was never something that I liked personally, or something that I was interested in. Or when I saw my life or I saw my future, I did not imagine myself being a nurse. So I didn't want to do it. I wanted to go to school to be a business owner or to do some type of business. So fast forward 2-3 years of me being in a 4-year college and going to business school. My ex at the time was like, listen, you need to go to school to be a nurse. This is not going to work. blah, 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 get your life together, figure out what you're doing, go to nursing school. So we moved from New York to New Jersey. I enrolled in nursing school. I started going to nursing school. The time that I got with him, I didn't have any responsibility. I used to work. I have part-time jobs here and there. I work in retail. I work at some like assistant livings. I made a little bit of money, but I had no responsibility. I was working, shopping, living my life, doing whatever I wanted to do. So I didn't have any responsibility. I'm making a point here, so stay with me. So when we moved to New Jersey, I went to nursing school. I think my last year in nursing school, I got pregnant with my son. We bought our first house. I got married. Life was good. He was still taking care of all of the bills. My ex was one of those men that grew up in a household where it was, I don't know how to describe it. He was like an alpha male, is that the word? Like he took care of everything in the house. My job was to cook, clean, and take care of the baby when we had a baby. Even though I still work, but I did what I wanted to do with my money. Like I would grocery shopping. He gave me some responsibility. He was like, oh, it's your duty to pay the light bill. And girl, when I tell you, I did not even pay the light bill. Some months I would pay the light bill and some months I would not. Some months I would not. I just kind of did what I wanted to do with my money, and I was living and I was comfortable. Comfort is your enemy. Never get comfortable. So I was super comfortable and I was just chilling, living. I graduated from nursing school. I got a job, my first nursing job. I started working. I had my son. I saved up a little bit of money because I was thinking about going back to nursing school. We discussed it and I was like, oh, I think I want to go back to nursing school to further my career. I always knew that I wanted to do something where I make a lot of money. So I figure, okay, I've already done the first step. I need to go back so I can go further and make more money. So that was the plan. I was like, okay, I'm planning to go back to nursing school, but I always wanted to own my own clothing store. I did not mention this. While all of this was going on, I was calling myself a blogger, but it wasn't something that I was doing consistently. I was taking photo, posting on IG, taking photo, posting on Facebook. I had a blog that I used to share like my outfits. But at the time, I didn't know that it was something that you can make money from doing. For me, it was just like a hobby. This is something I like. I like dressing up. I like looking nice, and I want to share my outfits with people. So I was just doing that on social media. I was growing my following, but I wasn't thinking anything more of it. Like, oh, I want to be this big influencer. I want to make money. I want to do this. It was like, I enjoy doing this. This is fun. This is what I wanted to do. I think at the time my following count was like 5,000 or 6,000, because I've been doing influencing for a while, but it just wasn't, it didn't have a title at that time. People would ask me like, where did you get your outfit from? I would share with them. I used to go thrifting. I used to love to shop at the Goodwill, Salvation Army, Payless. I always say when Payless used to be Payless, Rainbow. So I was always doing that, but it just wasn't like a paid thing. It was just something I was doing for fun. So fast forward now to me thinking about going back to nursing school. So I was like, all right, before I go back to nursing school, I think I want to try to open an online store, an online boutique, because this is the only way I really saw myself making money. I didn't think like, oh, I want to do influencing and make money. I was like, I want to start my online clothing store. I'm going to work at it for a year and see how it goes. If it doesn't work out the way I hope that it will, then I will go back to nursing school, because at least I want to give this a try. So in the future, if I'm like a doctor or a nurse practitioner or something crazy, I'm not sitting there regretting all this thing that I wanted to do that I never did. So I discussed it with my friend. I remember at the time I had a really good friend of mine. I discussed it with her and she was like, go ahead and do it, girl. Do it. You can do it. So I discussed it with my husband at the time. I was like, this is what I want to do. And he was looking at me like, girl, you ain't doing nothing else with your life. You just have money, you work, you shop, and you do whatever you want to do. So you might as well go ahead and do it. So I saved up a little bit of money from my nursing job, and I opened up my online clothing store. At the same time, I was still doing influencing, taking picture, blogging, doing all of that stuff. So I had a little bit of a following, but there was no money being made from that. Like, people were sending me free things and yada yada yada. That was it. I used to go to like networking events. Like I said, I had no responsibility. A girl was here living. I used to go out to networking event. I went to fashion shows. So I had a lot of friends in the industry and friends that had like bigger following and was doing influencing. So when I launched my boutique, I had friends come over and I had a couple of girls share my stuff on IG. So I was excited. I was like, yay, I am a boutique owner, blah, 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 living my life, living the dream. All right, I'm still doing my nursing job part-time. Now I have a baby, I have a husband, and I have my online boutique, and I'm still doing my blogging on the side. So this is where we're at. So I launched my boutique in August. I don't remember the exact year. I want to say 2017, but I don't want to lie. So I launched but I remember the month. I launched my boutique in August with my little bit of money that I had saved. I put everything into it. Remember now, I had no financial responsibility at the time. I used to pay the light bill, I'll do grocery shopping, and then I'll do whatever I want here and there. So, important point. So when I launched the boutique in August, things was going good. From August to December. December, I had the surprise of my life. My ex at the time filed for divorce. And it was like somebody pulled the carpet from under me. It happened so fast. It was unexpected. It was crazy. It was a mess. We're not going to get into that. But it was a mess. I didn't see it coming. It was just like, whoop. And I slipped and fell. So when he filed for divorce, the same time he filed for divorce, I had to leave our house that I was living in because it was like police got involved, restraining orders, blah, 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 blah. It was a mess. So then I had to move in with my mom. My mom was in a 2-bedroom apartment. She was there with my little brother, a friend's daughter from Africa, and then the friend's mom. So they had like 4 people. I'm trying to think. They had like 4, my mom, my brother. Yeah, they had 4 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. So I moved in with my mom. Me and my son moved in with my mom while I'm going to court. I had to get a lawyer. I didn't have money to pay a lawyer. This is how irresponsible I was, because from the time I was 19 years old to whatever age I was at that time, I don't remember, I have depended on this man to make all of our life decisions, like financial decisions, everything. So I never thought like, oh, what if I have to do this by myself? Do I have enough money to do it? What if I need to do this by myself? Do I have money to do it? I never had that mindset. It was always like, what do I have to worry about? I have a husband. I have a husband. He'll take care of that. I don't need to save money. I don't need to do nothing. I have a husband. So that was the mentality that I had. So now that this man pulled the rug from under me, and I have to pay lawyer retainer fees, and it was a crazy divorce. So I have to go to court. I have to try to fight for custody of my son. All this mess is going on, and your girl is broke. I have no money. I have to borrow money from my girlfriends to pay for the lawyer. I'm living with my mom. I'm trying to work. At this point, I'm living paycheck to paycheck because I'm working a lot of hours trying to save up enough money to do all of these things that I never planned for. At the same time, I have an online business that I just started that I have to keep functioning, and then I have all these extra responsibilities. So I'm getting to the point, I promise. Battery died, and I think I lost the angle of the camera. I hope it's straight. It looks a little bit weird, but I hope it's okay. Anyway, so where am I? I am going through a divorce. I was fighting for custody. I wanted to get full custody of my son because he was very young at the time, and I did not want him going back and forth between 2 homes. And at the same time, young, and I was the primary parent or the lead parent. I don't know what the word is that they use. I was the lead parent. Like, I was the one in charge of taking care of him, feeding him, bathing him, putting him in bed, taking him to school, doing all of this. I did not want to just give that responsibility to his dad because he's a good dad. I don't want to say he wasn't there, but you know, sometimes men, they don't do things the way women do things. And he was still young, so I didn't want to do that. But he had full access to his son. I wanted full custody, but he could still visit, he could see him, he could do whatever he wanted. But I just wanted him to be living with me full time. So I'm fighting for custody. I have to find a place to live because I can't be trying to get custody and I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment with like 6 people. It doesn't make sense. So I'm looking for an apartment. I was working with an agent, and at the time it was so hard to find an apartment that I like because I wanted something nice. Keep in mind, I came from like a newly built townhome. I had everything. It was nice, and I've always lived in nice apartments. prior to even getting a house, because like I said, my ex was doing well. So I wanted like a decent apartment, so at least when the judge when we're doing custody and they're like, oh, where do you live, and be like, all right, I have a nice place that I live and I can take care of my son. I wanted a 3-bedroom because I wanted somewhere where I can keep my store stuff, where I could still be able to do photos for my store, have a little office, and then I wanted my son to have his own bedroom or a 2-bedroom. But I wanted something in a nice area, and that was very hard to find. Not only was it hard to find, but it was very expensive. When I heard the price of apartments, I was like, what the hell? Why are people paying all this money for an apartment? Because the house that we had, we was only paying $1,500 for that house, and that was a 3-bedroom house. Now, and we had 2 living rooms, a garage, and all the bells and whistles. But now with the apartments, it was like 2 tiny bedrooms for like $2,000 or $1,800. It was so crazy. And so the agent that was helping me, he said, why don't you look into purchasing a home? And I was like, me buying a home? I can't do that. And he was like, why not? You have a good job, you have a good income, you could get an FHA loan, and then you could just get a decent sized house, and the mortgage could be the same as what you want to pay. If you're looking for an apartment where the rent is $1,500, you can get a house where your mortgage is $1,500. You could just balance it out for it to be in that range. But let's look into getting a house. And at the time, it sounded so big to me, like, that's a lot of responsibility. I can't do it. And the thing is, even though I was in the house that we owned prior to, like I said, I didn't make any of the decision when it came to buying that home. I picked out the decors, I picked out the countertop, you know, I picked out this, all the cute stuff. I did that. But knowing that, going through like, oh, you have to have good credit, you have to have the down payment, you need to do this, you need to do that. I didn't know that part. Like my ex-husband did all of that. And I kind of blame myself for that, because I never took the time to educate myself, and I didn't involve myself into those things. I felt like, oh, that's the man role, that's what he's supposed to do, and I'm just supposed to be here making sure that this place look cute. So that was my ignorance. But going into this new house, I was able to go ahead and with the help of that agent, I was able to buy a house. I had a decent income, and my credit was not the best, but it was okay for an FHA loan. And also I needed, like, I think $15,000 was my down payment. And when I tell you, I did not have $15,000. And at the time, $15,000 was so big to me. I was just like, oh my God, where am I going to get $15,000 from? Because I'm someone that never saved money for it to even make it to like $10,000 before. I don't even think I ever saved. Did I ever save up to $5,000? I don't think so. Not by myself. I never did. So it sounded so big to me. But the good thing about that was, that year I started my business in, I think I said August, right? In August. So the following year, while we're still going through the divorce and me looking for somewhere to live, the following year, tax season, I was able to file for my business, and that was my first startup year. So I was able to get some money back from the business and from claiming my son and all of that good stuff. So I believe I got like $13,000, and then I work and save up some money to put down the down payment on that house. I'm getting to the point, I promise you guys. So now that I bought my house, moved in, and I'm like, woohoo, okay, things look like it's gonna get good. It's gonna get good. Life is not that bad. I got full custody of my son, living life. But yo, the house was so old. The house came with so much more problem. Leaky roof, leaky everything, heat problem, all of the problem you could possibly think of. Now, during the divorce, I was able to get an old car. I had a brand new car that I bought. Not really bought, I want to say lease. That I leased when I graduated from school. That was like my present to myself. But the mistake that I made, the car was in my ex name, but I was making the car payment. Not really a mistake, but kind of a mistake. I was making the car payment. So throughout the divorce settlement, I let him keep that car because I could not afford the payment on the car. So I was like, all right, you keep the car, because the payment on that car was like $4 something, and your girl was broke. I was not coming up with $420 a month to make car payments. So I gave him that car, and then he had an older car that he gave me. I think it was like a 2006, 2007 Toyota Camry. The car was old and it wasn't worth taking care of. So as soon as I moved into the house had all of the problems in the world that you could think about. Then the car broke down on me. The car broke down on me, You know how they say when it rains it pours? It does. The car broke down. Life was a mess. When the car broke down, I needed a car to be going to work and coming from work and being able to take my son to school and get him out of school. So they said it was going to cost me almost like $5,000 to fix the car, and I'm like, I don't have $5,000. At the time, my credit was already bad because I bought the house, and then your credit goes down once you buy a house for a bit. And I have taken out credit cards and loans and all kinds of things to fix the house because it was just so much issue. So all of that, my credit had just gone down the drain. I wasn't keeping up with my credit card payments. I was behind on my student loans. When I tell you guys, my life was a mess. It was a mess. So when the car broke down, I was just like, what am I going to do? I need a car to go back and forth to work. I need to be able to live life and pay this mortgage. I would never forget my girlfriend Precious. She cashed at me $100 that day when my car broke down. Even though $100 could not buy me a car, but she felt so bad for me that she cashed at me $100. She was like, I hope this helped. I hope you can at least get an Uber or something to get around. And I would never forget that. You know how you just never forget the people that were there for you when you needed the most? She was there for me, and my girlfriend Vivian was there for me too, but she just lived further away, so she couldn't come and drive me around. But I went to a car dealership, my little brother for a ride to take me to a car dealership because I needed a car to go back to work the next day. And my credit was bad. I had zero down payment. I had nothing. So when I tell you guys, I got the shittiest car loan that anyone can give anyone in the world. Was the one that I got. Even my girlfriend, my best friend were like, I think it's illegal for them to give you such a high interest rate. The interest rate was ridiculous. I don't remember the exact number, but I know the car was only worth like $15,000, and I end up for the term of the loan, I think I owe like $30,000 or $34,000 on that car. And I was hurt because I'm like, I have this huge car loan and the car is not even all of that. And I don't even know when I'm going to finish paying this loan. And now the payment on the car was $120, which was almost the same as my old car that I gave back. So for all of that, I could have just kept my car. That's a story for another day. So fast forward now, I have my new car. I'm stressed because I have to make this car payment. I have to do mortgage. I have to do daycare. I have to do this. I have to do that. At the same time, I'm telling you, I'm still doing influencing. I'm still doing blogging. I'm still running my store. I did not give up on any of those things. I was barely making it, but I was doing it. I was actually at the point where I would work night shift. I would go do my 12-hour shift, come back from work, drop my son to daycare, and then go out and take my picture. I would put my phone on the tripod and take my own picture because I couldn't afford to pay anyone to take my picture, and my girlfriend lived far away, so she couldn't come to take my picture. And I would model all of my own clothing. Sometimes I would do mirror selfies for my boutique, or I would put the thing on the tripod and take my own picture for my boutique. The struggle was very real, but I did not give up. So fast forward now, I have my new car. I'm living life. I'm in the house. My life is a little bit settled, a little bit, but it was a mess. At this time, I was having such a struggle with keeping up with my job because I applaud everyone that have a child. All of you single moms that have 2-3 children, I don't know how you guys do it because it is tough. It is not easy. Trying to work and navigate kids' schedule is not easy. And daycare, childcare is so expensive. It doesn't even make any sense. So I'm trying to work, but I have to work around my son daycare schedule because most daycare open, the earliest would be like 7, some of them at 6. And then the latest will be 6. But if you keep them that late, you have to pay extra. So I couldn't afford to pay the extra. So I would work nights, and then my mom would watch him during the night, and then during the day I would drop into daycare, sleep, pick him up, and do that. But it got to the point where I couldn't even do that because I couldn't sleep during the day. I would work at night, come home during the day, drop him, and then I would do photos for I would do stuff for my store, I would do stuff for my blog. And then I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'll spend all day up, and then I have to go to work at night. And then when I get to work, I'm so tired. So then I switched back to night shift, and I was doing like 2-3 days here and there. So fast forward now, life is good. Influencing was taking off a little bit. My store started doing great. Business was doing well. I was settling into the house. The house was doing okay, like things wasn't falling apart as much as it was in the beginning. So life was starting to feel a little bit normal. One day I'm coming home from a photo shoot, minding my own business. I was at a red light. I think I was at the red light right next to my house. I was parked waiting for the light to change, and there was a couple of cars in front of me. And next thing I heard was boom. Someone came from the back and literally just ran into my car. Ran into my car. Good thing nothing happened to me, but when I got out and looked at the car, it looked fine to drive it home. And I called my insurance company. The next day I had to drop it off to get it checked. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe they just have to change the bumper or do something to it, and then I'll have my car back. So I got a call from the insurance company the next day. They said that the car is total. It's gonna cost more for them to fix the car. It costs more to fix the car than what the car is worth. So they're not gonna fix the car. So I'm just like, wait, what? I have no car, what am I gonna do? And the crazy thing about it is I owe so much on the car. I owe more on the car than what the car was worth. So the insurance company was only able to pay off what the car was worth, and then the gap insurance luckily was able to pay the balance and that I owe on the loan. So at the end of it, I had no money. I had no car and I had no money. I felt like I was back to square one, and I was so sad and depressed, and I'm just like, what am I gonna do with my life? Why did this keep happening to me? I don't want to go get another loan because I just don't want to ruin my credit. I'm already working on it. It's getting better. Why? And then after a while, I thought about it. I'm like, why am I stressing out? This is a blessing in disguise. God just got me out of loan that I didn't even want to pay for, that I couldn't even afford to pay for. Nah, I don't owe anybody any money. So why am I stressed? And around the same time, the pandemic happened and the kids were being homeschooled. So I'm like, kids are being homeschooled. I can barely keep up with my work schedule because my son isn't really in school full time. So instead of getting another auto loan, and this is how I quit my job now, wait for it. Instead of me going out and getting another shitty loan and putting myself in a bad situation, why don't I just focus on influencing and focus on my boutique from August? Was it August? Yeah, it was August. It was October actually. From October to January, I'm gonna focus on only my store and my boutique, and I won't work, and I'll try to save up enough money, and then I'll go back to work in January. Mind you, that year was the year that the pandemic happened. So all throughout that year, it was a struggle for me to even go to work because, like I said, my son was being homeschooled. I was dropping him off to this person. My cousin was helping me out. My mom would help me. It was a struggle. I think I was only working like 2 days a week. And this is the time when all of the nurses were making money, as they call it. It was the year of the year of the nurses. And I couldn't even work because my son's schedule, like, even when the school started opening back up, I think they had childcare for healthcare worker or essential workers, they call it. So when he would go to the daycare or when he would go to the childcare, it would be like one day, and then the next day someone would get tested positive for COVID, and then they won't go back to school. So my job was so tired of me. At this point, it was just like, girl, do you want to work or not? And I was like, I want to work, but I don't have anyone to help me with my kids. So what can I do? So when the accident happened, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna stress myself out. I think I had like $5,000 or $6,000 saved up. This was like my emergency money. And I was looking to put that towards a down payment for a car, but I was like, listen, how about you just take a leap of faith from October to January. We're gonna focus on the store. At the time, the store was doing well. I'll focus on the store. I'll focus on influencing, and come January, I will have enough money. I will get a car, or I'll put down a down payment for a car, and then I'll go back to work. But give this a try and see how it goes. You have money to pay your mortgage if push comes to short. If push comes to short. They say it? I think so. But anyway, that was my plan. So I was like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. I didn't have a huge plan. It wasn't planned ahead of time. I didn't have a big savings, nothing. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a chance and I'm gonna do this. And the good thing about nursing is if tomorrow life is tough, I can get up and call up an agency or go apply for a job, and I can get a job anywhere. So I was like, all right, take this chance and do it. When I tell you guys, October, I think it was before Halloween, I made that decision that that's what I was gonna do. October, November, influencing just blew up for me. Like, I was getting work after work. I wasn't even applying for work. I wasn't pitching any brands. When I tell you guys, God just made it happen. I was just getting work. And I was like, oh, this is it, this is it, this is it, this is what you wanted me to do this whole time, God. But I was not listening to you. I wanted to do my own thing. And I'm saying that to say sometimes you just have to trust. You just have to trust, and you have to take a chance. And this is something that been on my heart for a while. It's something that I knew that I wanted to do. But coming from an African background, and also coming from a background where I didn't know anyone that did this full-time and made money from it, I don't even think I knew any full-time entrepreneurs. I was just like, I can't do that. That's scary. I need to have a job. I need to have a steady income. I need to know that I'm getting a check every Friday or every other Friday. So it was a scary thing to do, especially having a kid and having a mortgage. So when I took that chance, I got so much work in October. I got a little bit of work, but then November I got so much work. I think I made like 6,000. I know I'm like so much work, and some people are like, really 6,000? But to me that was a lot. My first month full-time I made 6,000, and then December I did so well. When I tell you guys, I was booked all of December. I even hired a photographer because I could not keep up. I had so much work, and my store was doing great. Came January, same thing. Everybody said January is the slow month, but January, I was still getting work, and I was just like, oh my God, is that you? Is this really happening? Is this my life? I woke up every day and I got to do what I wanted to do. I was able to work on my store, work on influencing, and I just went hard. January, I didn't go back to work because life was great. February, I was like, oh, I like this. I was still getting work, and things were just so good. March, I was able to buy my car. I think I bought my car like March 30 something. If you guys remember, I did a vlog about how I bought my car. And I was so proud of myself because that was my first car that I bought, It wasn't for me in the bag, it was for me. I bought that car and I was so proud of myself. I was like, oh my God, look at me. Look at how my life had just did a 360. I'm rich. I was not rich. I was okay. I was not rich. I was not rich at all. But you know, things just kind of pick up from there. And since then, I've just been doing this full time. I didn't plan it. I didn't have like a big plan, like, oh, by this time I'm gonna quit my job. If all of those things were not gonna happen to me, I would have still been working, because I was at the point where I could barely make it to work, and I was still going to work. But if I was not gonna lose my car, and there was no other way for me to get a car. I mean, there was other way, but I was just determined to not ruin my credit. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that again. I wouldn't be where I was. So that's the story of how I quit my job and became a full-time influencer. I know it's not interesting enough, but I hope you guys enjoy it. And October of 2022, what year are we in? 2022. Are we in 2020? Yeah, we're in 2022. October of 2021 made me 1 year full-time. So I've been October, November, December, January. So I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 1 year, 3 months. And when I tell you guys, life has just been so great. I'm just so grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for this platform. I'm grateful for platforms like YouTube and Instagram that allows people like me to do what I enjoy doing and meet people and connect with you guys. I'm so grateful for that. I don't take any of it for granted at all, because trust me when I tell you guys, I know the struggle. I know what it means to be broke. I know what it means to have many overdraft and negative balances in your account where you have no money, you don't even know where you're gonna do. I know the struggle. So I don't take anything for granted at all. It has been such an amazing journey for the past 1 year. I've enjoyed it so much, and I'm so grateful. And the one thing that I am most grateful for is freedom. As a mom, or as a single mom, that freedom to be able to be able to spend time with your child, get him ready for school, drop him to school, be there to pick him up, make him dinner, and spend time with him is what I am most grateful for. So I know the money is good and people like the money and all, but it's the freedom, it's my time that I am super, super, super grateful for. And I'm just so blessed to be doing this and call it a job. Yeah, that's my story on how I became a full-time influencer. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you enjoy this story, I will love again. But all right, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy my story time. Let me know if you want me to do more story time, because my life is a freaking book. There's a story about how I bought my house. I know I just kind of like breeze through it, but that is a story in of itself. There's a story about the whole pandemic. There's a story with my job. There's a story about how I got into nursing. There's a story about me living in that 2-bedroom apartment with 5 other people. My life is an entire book. that I can write and you will enjoy reading it. So if you'd like for me to do more story time, let me know. I know this video was not detailed. Like I said, it's a story time. It's not like how to be a full-time influencer, or I was not telling you guys how much money I made. That was not the point of the story. It was just how I went from married, single, divorce, broke, no house, no house, full-time entrepreneur, businesswoman, living my best life, making six-figure. That was basically my story. So if you'd like me to talk more about my journey as an influencer for the past 1 year, things that I've learned, mistakes that I've made, and what I'll do differently, let me know. Look forward to hearing from you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I gotta go pick my kid up from school, so talk to you guys later.